A lot of people that came up here and said a lot of good things, and I'm not going to repeat it. You don't have to go down to Tampa, Florida to see injustice. And just as mad as y'all are about a white man killing a black man, you should be just as angry as a black man killing a black man.
I heard someone say, he got a couple years left. Let's wait and see what he does. Is that not crazy? You continue to let him take care of Pensacola Elite's problem and wait for him to get to you. You put him first and he put you last. For freedom to be free, it's going to take you and me.
I'm gonna try to give y'all a little history lesson in about maybe 2 or 3 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Something I'll teach y'all in school about your own history. And I feel like if y'all knew who y'all was, y'all wouldn't be out here killing each other and doing each other how to. So Taz, let's go, man. Let's go with number 1, whatever. Shout out to Taz, too. Let's give a hand clap for Taz.
The first speaker is Jermaine Williams. Mr. Williams.
How you all doing?
Fine, thank you, sir.
I've been coming down here for about almost a year, you know, talking to y'all about the violence. And I've spoken to some of y'all on the side, and they'll tell me, you need to bring your people down here. You need to get some of your people down here and let them be heard. So what that's the message that's sending to me and to the people that I need to speak for is that we're out of sight, out of mind. I have the minister of the Nation of Islam with me, Minister Muhammad, 2 representatives of one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in Pensacola. Most everybody already left, and we were ready to speak to you, you know, but they left, understandably so, and we waited around, but we're used to being last.
Honey?
Yes, dear?
Could you please pass me the Grey Poupon?
Is it that time again?
Yes. It's time for the Johnny Mac Show. Officially launched in 2018, the Johnny Mac Show follows trending topics that are molding both the American and global societies together. We thank you for tuning in as usual, as the topics brought to you today are what you care about the most. Be sure to subscribe on the Johnny Mac Spreaker Show and check your local times and listings on iHeartRadio. And now, without any further ado, we bring you the man himself. Here's Johnny Mac.
What it do, man? What it do, baby? Yeah. So, this gonna be a real good show, man. This gonna be probably one of the best ones, and I know I say that every time. This is a good one. I had the chance to sit down with the homie Jermaine Williams. Jermaine Williams, Maine Thicker, Maine the Baptist, Maine the Father, Maine the Brother. We talk about a lot of interesting things. He's been involved in, everything from politics. He's been involved. He's currently working on a movie documentary film, and he's also, and again, we know he raps and does music as well. But also, the special thing about him is Jermaine went through a thing with battling addiction, which we all know right now is a subject that it may be a sore subject, but it's a subject that's been around for a while, and I think right now is one of the times that you may need to hear some motivation about that, because we see everything going on with the virus and all of the jobs, and some people out there are depressed, some people not getting work, some people not even getting their unemployment, different things. So it's easy to fall into the trap of drugs, getting high, and staying in that state and being there. It's very, very easy to do that, and Jermaine overcame that. We talk about that. We talk about his book, My Brother, the Devil and Me. That's an interesting book with a real interesting title that he wrote. Looked like, I think back in 2013 he wrote that book, and and he's always, always on the front lines in activism and being active for the people. So this gonna be a real good show for y'all. This is a real good one, and I'm excited. I'm ready to get it started. So in order to get it started, y'all know how we do it over here on the Johnny Mac Show. We always kick it off with some music, and happen to have some music by Jermaine. So this one right here is On Go by Jermaine, Maine the Baptist. We gonna play that, and then we gonna come back, and I'm gonna get to jamming this interview. So you rocking with your boy Johnny Mac on the Johnny Mac Show. Let's do it.
You're listening to the Johnny Mac Show. You're listening to the Johnny Mac Show.
I came from the mud. I dabbled in drugs. I conquered the hate. I did it with love. It is what it was. I came from the dirt, but I put in the work. I'm covered by blood. He showed me my worth. The salt of the earth. And you should know, I'm on go. I'm a ticking time bomb. I'm about to blow. That means I'm straight. I did it by faith. I'm running this race. You all in my lane. Stay in your place. They got a lot to say, but they capped out. No GPS, but it's mapped out. Was a lost soul at the crossroads to salvation or the cash route. Elohim or the triple beam. Family really tried to intervene. It won't end well. End up in a cell, burning in hell. What the hell you mean? I was sitting high, feeling low, up and down like an elevator. Scratch that like an escalator. Now I'm innovating with the innovators. Wanna see proof? You can see me later. Yeah, the force strong, no Darth Vader. I done took the hate, made a plate, win it ate, bruh. Who cares about the hater? Made mistakes, sent for the stage. Won a trip to jail, no sweepstakes. It's a dirty world, I jump clean through the blood of the lamb, it's erased. Two-stepper with the devil. I done came a long way. God put me on a mission. I did not come to play. Just had to let go, let my soul glow. Walked it out by faith. The devil all in my face. That boy trying my grace. But he should know, bro, I'm on go mode. And through God, I'm straight. Pulled his card, no waste. That boy gave me space. I came from the mud. I dabbled in drugs. I conquered the hate. I did it with love. It is what it was. I came from the dirt, but I put in the work. I'm covered by blood, he showed me my worth, the salt of the earth. And you should know, I'm on go. I'm a ticking time bomb, I'm about to blow. That means I'm straight. I did it by faith. I'm running this race, you all in my lane, stay in your place. Who the sun sets free, it's truly free indeed. Me, I've been free from cocaine and praying all of my needs. You see that Jesus peace is a centerpiece. He's still alive, that's inner peace. This life ain't mine, I signed the lease, so that inner beast, it had to cease. They staining my name, but I'm walking the water, breaking these chains. They think it's a game, this life is so hard, but I'm going harder. Quicksand, I was stuck. Tom Brady in the clutch. Praise through to a breakthrough. Folk, I had to turn up. I'm TD Jakes when I see these snakes. You see my grind, I see no breaks. I pay no mind, my light gon' shine. So give me mine, or I'm gon' take. It's been a long time coming. Knew a change was gon' come. It was his will, I stood still. Knew I couldn't outrun what he had for me. It was after me, so it'll never be another after me. It gets shut down like Applebee's. Don't give Adam another apple, please. I'm sliding by, no fear. Eyes wide with an open ear, that's worth the amen. Hallelujah. 2 claps and a Ric Flair. I came from the mud. I dabbled in drugs. I conquered the hate. I did it with love. It is what it was. I came from the dirt, but I put in the work. I'm covered by blood. He showed me my worth. The salt of the earth. And you should know, I'm on go. I'm a ticking time bomb. I'm about to blow. That means I'm straight. I did it by faith. I'm running this race. You all in my lane. Stay in your place.
Listening to the Johnny Mac Show. Listening to the Johnny Mac Show.
This is Jizzle and you listening to my dad podcast, you hear me?
Have you ever been pulled over by the police at 4 a.m. drinking after a party? Is your landlord violating your lease? You going through divorce, adoption, or child support? If so, then you need Legal Shield. Legal Shield gives you the law in your pocket through an easy-to-use app for just $20 a month. Always have 24-hour access to an attorney near you. If you need this, email me at macworld2020@gmail.com. That's Macworld, MACKWORLD2020@gmail.com, and put the law in your pocket.
You're listening to my daddy's podcast, The Johnny Mac Show.
All right. This your boy Johnny Mac in the Johnny Mac Show, and of course, how I always do it. Whenever I have any of my guests on, I have to run my mouth for about 2 to 3 minutes to tell y'all why my guests are important to me. Now, this next young man, everybody knows about my ventures. I've been from Memphis, Tennessee, all the way to Pensacola, Florida, all the way to all over Florida. One of my first stops again was Pensacola. And again, I talked on my last show when I talked about the guy Promise, at that same store in Pensacola, I used to stand out there selling my CDs. It's a place called Town and Country Plaza. Everybody from Pensacola, you ain't really Pensacola if you don't know what Town and Country Plaza is, right? So I used to be out there selling my CDs, and it used to be a music store over there when I first got there. It's around 2006, 2007. And I ran into a guy named Jermaine at this same store where I met the guy named Promise at. And back then, this guy was a rapper. We talked for a minute, and I think we exchanged some numbers on what we gonna do and how we gonna do whatever. And, we never really got to just get together, but we did exchange social media. I think it started on MySpace and transferred over to Facebook, and I've seen this guy grow. I've watched this guy in different, in the news. I've seen him face to face with, even racist people and actually bring it to a calm situation. I've seen this man go from a hardcore rapper. I've seen him turn to basically a gospel rapper. I've seen him even bring me into politics, which he didn't even know. At one point when I gave up on politics, I saw him following a guy that was running for governor, a black governor, and it brought light to me, and it lit a fire in me, and all you saw was me talking about, hey man, let's make Florida blue. Like, this is some real stuff. So it's an honor to have here, and I got the guy here, and this is, I don't know what you go by. I put Jermaine J. Williams, but I don't know you, Jermaine, Maine Thicker, Maine the Baptist. Is it? I don't even know, man. Talk to me. What's going on with you?
What's going on, man? Hey, that was a dope introduction. Thank you, man. We go way back, man. Way back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, those were the glory days back in Town and Country Plaza, man.
Oh, man. Let me ask you, are you originally from Pensacola, or?
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. Everything about me starts and ends with Pensacola.
Starts and ends in Pensacola. So right now, you're in Florida, though. You in a different part of Florida? I thought you somewhere else, though, right? Or?
Yeah, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. Most people call it Duval County, but yeah.
Duval, yes, sir. Let me ask you this: so your family, you come from a big family? It's like a lot of brothers and sisters, or what you got?
A lot of cousins. I got a couple brothers. I got one blood brother, fully blood brother, but I also got 2 other brothers that's by law we're considered half brothers, but you can't tell us that. And I got a sister, but just a huge like cousins, Jabril and all them, and just a lot of us.
Okay, perfect. All right, and so tell me about this. So what originally happened? Like I said, now originally I remember I guess it was Maine Thicker, the rapper, the gangster rapper. What happened in between? How did that turn into Maine the Baptist, and what made you switch lanes to go that route?
Well, this was like back, it all started in like 93, 94, when like you just couldn't wake up and say, hey, I'm gonna be a rapper, and go buy you a software or something, and then you upload.
No, you had to be real, right?
You had to be real. Like this was back when we had our CDs where you could put on the headphones and Sam Goody or Blockbuster Music.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So we was in high school with those CDs, and like man, we were making so much money, and we was like bona fide in Pensacola, and then we all started under that same umbrella, started dropping our own solo projects. And that's
because when I got to Pensacola, I remember it was a song out, and I'll never forget this song. And I can't remember who it is, but this is when I think of Pensacola. This what Duck Lane Swain.
Oh yeah.
When I first got there, that's all I heard. That's all we don't Duck Lane Swain. Today, I can hear that right now. And I'm gonna get them, and I don't even know who made. I don't know nothing. I don't know. And the girl I was dating at the time, she knew the history. She knew all the people. She knew all y'all, and she told me everything. I didn't know. All I just knew was when that song came on, I'm gonna move. You know, and I can't dance. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm gonna move. Yeah, I'm Duck Lane Swain. I do it right now. I have my kids and everything laughing at me, man.
Yeah, man. That man. I my girl laughed at me. I listen to that like it's still out, man. And that's my big bro, man. That's Remy Red and
that's what it was, Remy Red
and rest in peace, OG Third.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, man. That's
that's who you were with when I met you. Y'all at that store, OG Third Degree. He passed, right?
Yeah, he passed. We were affiliated. You know, I knew Third for years since we were kids, but yeah, you know, I was with Foul Play, but Third Degree in them there. You know, that was like the mom and pop store. Everybody sold their CDs there, and you know, my family owned it. We owned it, and
okay.
And so we just, you know, like it was so much competition, but when you own a store, it's kind of hard to be competitive with when you trying to put the music in a place where the rival rap group own the store, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But during that time, man, I was just on so much drugs, man.
Drugs.
A lot of cocaine.
That's what I wanted to ask you about. Yeah, I was gonna say over the last 10 years, I seen you speak heavily about sobriety, and you become basically the guy. And I'm not trying to sound corny when I say it, because everybody needs to follow it. You have become that just say no guy. Tell me about that. Tell me about that transition, because man, that's hard. You got a lot on your plate too. You deal with a lot. Talk to these people. What's going on?
Yeah, it was crazy because, like, you know, I had released the book, just a huge amount of music, and just like meeting with the mayor and big boy speakers, and I was doing all of it while I was like heavy drug addiction.
No, not that. Oh, that's when you were doing it? Because I remember that I wanted, we're going to talk about that book. I got questions about Me, My Brother, and the Devil.
Yeah, my brother.
It wasn't during that time though, was it?
Yeah, man. It was. Yeah, man. It was doing all that.
How did you manage to write a book? Yeah, you got to talk to the people. You got to talk to people, because what I'm saying is, a lot of people are battling this. A lot of people are fighting this. A lot of people are doing whatever it was that you were doing, and they need to hear inspiration from somebody that has gotten out of there. So this is going to save somebody more than it's going to be anything. So go ahead and save some people, Jermaine. Talk to them.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It was, man, I mean, look, I wish I could tell you, hey, help your mom. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you all kind of stuff like, oh man, I was, you know, I did this. It was God, though. Just pretty much, just God just did it for me. But it took a lot, man.
What made the snap, dude? You mind talking about whatever it was that made you change, or that turned it to say, hey, this is enough. I'm not doing this no more.
Well, it was like during that whole time, I kept wanting to stop. You know, I was talking to one of my cousins. And a lot of my people, they still do it. You know, they still get down on whatever they do. But it's a thing of, like, when you do it when you like it, or when you do it because it's an addiction and it got a hold on you.
Now, let me ask you this. I don't want to cut you off real quick. Hold that thought real quick. Let me ask you this now. When you say when you do it, if you feel like getting personal with the listeners or whatever, when you say do it, are we talking like weed? We talking cocaine? We talking heroin? Or what we...
We talking cocaine. We talking a lot of cocaine.
Okay.
That's 13 years, you know.
Gotcha.
And it was like bad, you know, rock bottom hard, you know. And it's funny because like in a couple months, I have a documentary out about it.
And that's what yep.
And so I'm just like, I'll tell you what was tough. Sitting through these 2-hour interviews for the documentary with my family, and just hearing everything that they had to say and how they felt about everything, and just hearing all that stuff, and you suppress that stuff, and it hurt when you sitting there and you're hearing back all the stories you have done to, family and friends.
So is that what your documentary is? What's the title of that documentary that's coming out?
I had to change the story of Jermaine J. Williams.
Nice. Now, and what is that again? And that's a documentary where it's going to have different people speaking about what was going on in those times and the person you were then as opposed to now?
Yeah. It's going to start from birth all the way to now. We're looking for a landing spot for it. So I don't, I wish I could just, put it on Facebook and YouTube, but
right.
But we're gonna see. We're gonna try to hit the majors first and work our way down. But yeah, I mean, I would definitely say, man, to anybody going through all this, it definitely ain't over because, you can lose yourself without losing yourself. I lost myself, but I was still able to do some good things like write a book and activism and all that stuff. And
right, so how did you get into the activism? Because you've been doing that for a while, but I didn't know that was through the drug situation. But I've always seen you. You've always been at the, talking at look like the city councils and it's always you hear people talk about and complain. Hey, I want this to change. I need this to change. Or I wish this would be right. I wish the water would be better. I wish the schools would be better. But you never see nobody get up and actually go to those meetings and confront the people. Now I seen a clip. It looked like where somebody had told you hey, well, you need to bring this many people, and you were bringing it to the door. Look, I'm tired of going back and forth. It's been a couple of times I've seen you just go head to head. What got you into the activism? So that's been where's all of that come from?
Oh man, I think I was just born like that.
Modern day Malcolm.
That's one thing. That's a going thing in the documentary. Everybody talks about my infatuation.
You look like him. You know what I'm saying? Not being funny. You even look like him, Doc. I'm just gonna be real. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes reincarnation happens like that, man.
That's what they say, man. But I tell you what, when you're out here fatherless and stuff, you gotta look. Sometimes you gotta look at the past, a great man, and just take on them as a father or whatever. Just kind of emulate them. I think that's what I was doing subconsciously, At 6 years old, I lost my dad at 6, and I was introduced to Malcolm. No, I say that, but he was killed by a drunk driver. So,
Gotcha.
So, you know how it is.
Sorry to hear that, yeah.
Oh, no, I appreciate that. And it's crazy because, then you could fast forward, and I'm out here was drunk and doing the things that took my father away from me, and just looking at, just even sitting there talking to you, that's crazy. But
right, I got you.
But yeah, but just being out here fatherless, and my aunt introduced me to Malcolm X videos at 6, and I clung on to them all the way into now. So that's always been a part of me. And sometimes, even when you out here doing drugs and all that stuff, it's still stuff that's important, the calling.
I was gonna say that. That's the reason why when I made the joke about the modern day Malcolm, that goes real deep when I speak of that, because that's how Malcolm became Malcolm. He wouldn't have been Malcolm had he had to go through the trenches. He had to be at the bottom of the pole, so he know who to speak to. That's why his audience and people could, they knew. And they could tune in. He knew how to blow them whistles and get people to listen and command a crowd, because they knew he was coming from where they came from. He wasn't just one of them people that say, hey, you need to do good, but they a goody two-shoe in. They don't understand. No, he's done been there, so people relate. That's the same thing that I see in you. And that's another reason why when I, especially trying to do these podcasts and get the word out, I want to talk to real people that got real situations that's going on, and they got, real messages, and you got a message, and I always have. I've been watching it, like I said, forever. And I always just kind of wanted to, always pick your brain and just see, what made it tick. Now tell me this. Now tell me a little bit about the movie. So when will the movie be out? Or you said you're still shopping the movie right now, right?
Yeah, it's almost done, and I'm just shopping it. Just trying to be careful with showing it. I wanted to do a big premiere, but COVID-19 put a stop to that. So I'm trying to think of ways to do it like a virtual premiere, because I want the people to see it. I don't want to let business get in the way of what I'm actually doing it for.
Right.
But you know, I still got to take care of my family as well because you know, even though I do want to get my story out there, I wanted to help people, but at the same time, you know, it took a lot of time away from my family and money to make it. So I want to make sure that, you know, it's still a business at the same time, but you know, but I want to make sure it reaches the right people though as well. So you'll be the first to know when I do a virtual. Cause that's what I really want to do. Yeah.
All right, man. We are talking with the homie Jermaine, Maine Thicker, Maine the Baptist, Maine from Pensacola, Maine the father, Maine the brother. You know, the Maine. So yeah, man, we chit-chatting here. Man, I'm gonna get into another cut of his real quick here. Let me see. Yeah, okay, I got one right here, and this is Victory. This is Maine the Baptist Victory. So we're going to jam this, and then we're going to come back after the break, and we're going to finish playing the rest of the interview right here on the Johnny Mac Show. Let's do it.
First giving honor to God. I'm Maine the Baptist, and this is my testimony.
Get thee blind. Victory is mine. Go ahead, now go ahead. Victory is mine. I told Satan to get thee behind. Victory is mine. Hey, victory is mine.
They say life and death is in the power of the tongue, so I'm speaking life. I got the devil on the run. I was born dirty, Jesus made me clean. Look, this a praise break, hit the tambourine. Yeah, this a battle cry, don't make me testify. Victory is in this thing, that's why it's glorified. Third day, he rose up, no longer crucified. Lucifer is Lucifer, the devil been alive.
I told Satan,
that's right,
to get thee behind. Victory is mine.
Satan, that boy be hating. When two or more gather, that's a whole congregation. I don't hold conversation. I break the foundation. From the start, I had the heart to spark a generation. Yeah. See, I don't put my trust in man. See how they do it? That's worth the amen and a hallelujah. I got the grand prize, not because I pay my tithes, cause my Savior lives and he breathes. They could have swore he died.
I told Satan to get thee behind. Mine. Victory is mine. I told Satan to get thee behind. Victory is mine. Victory is mine. Put your hands up for G.O.D. Give him praise, give him all the glory. Don't praise his name with me, say victory. Victory. Put your hands up for G.O.D. Give him praise, give him all the glory. Don't praise his name with me, say victory. Victory. Oh, yes, it's mine.
You're listening to my daddy's podcast, The Johnny Mac Show.
Have you ever been pulled over by the police at 4 a.m. drinking after a party? Is your landlord violating your lease? You going through divorce, adoption, or child support? If so, then you need Legal Shield. Legal Shield gives you the law in your pocket through an easy-to-use app for just $20 a month. Always have 24-hour access to an attorney near you. If you need this, email me at macworld2020@gmail.com. That's Macworld, MACKWORLD2020@gmail.com, and put the law in your pocket.
This is Jizzle, and you listening to my dad podcast. You heard me?
Aha! Aha! What do you know from funny, you bastard?
Now, all right, so let me ask you this. Let's rewind it back. So we know you got the film that's coming out, and again, the name of the film is I've Been Changed. I Had to Change. Now, to rewind me back. Tell me about the Me, My Brother, and the Devil. The book.
Oh, My Brother, the Devil, and Me.
Where did that whole what's about that book? Because I've seen it everywhere. I seen you when you was pushing it and promoting it. I even seen the excerpts that they let you read online and so forth. Tell me about that book and the inspiration behind it and the message behind that book.
Well, I always wanted to write that book. It's like a fictional story on the Book of Revelations with just like a lot of entertainment inside of it. But with the message, if you ask anybody, this is something similar to what we're living in now. So that book I was on drugs, but it took me 3 months to get that book done. The whole 3 months I was sober. Up until the time where I just was completely done with drugs, that was the longest I've ever been sober. But I was so dedicated to that. I will wake up early in the morning, about 7. I write all the way to the time for me to clock in. I go to work. I get off. I won't even take a shower. I'll come back and write all the way to 4 o'clock in the morning, take a nap, and do it all over again. Because I wanted that book out there. I felt like that's what God wanted me to do. That was 2013, and everybody's been asking for the sequel because of the cliffhanger the book get left on, but then drugs came back into the picture, and then it just was I wasn't focused no more.
I got you. Okay. So you was in one of the periods where you kind of, clean up a little bit, but still kind of then end up kind of getting back in it. I got you. Now, let me ask you this. Are you writing any future books, or are there any other books that I'm pretty sure you got other stuff coming or whatever? I mean, I know you got a lot going on too, man. You got any other books that's coming or anything else coming?
Yeah, I'm writing a sequel to that book, My Brother, the Devil, and Me, and it's called The Devil That Wore the Crown. And hopefully it'll be out real soon. I'm prioritizing it. So after I've released the documentary, that's one of the main things I want to get done. That's high on my list.
So let me ask you this. Let's switch lanes real quick. Let's jump back. Now, what's your opinions on the Kanye West album, with you being a gospel rapper who once were doing, I guess, what they would call secular music, to switching it to doing gospel? And when I say gospel music, people, and y'all are going to hear it, I'm sure y'all know I'm going to play these through the breaks. This gospel music is not, this is still like the Kanye West. This is that jam. This is that funk, though. This ain't really nothing to play with. This ain't, this is this bang. This got the knock to it, but this is has the message in it. And I have a friend that I grew up with, and he come out of Memphis, Tennessee. His name Fro. He did the same thing. He was a rapper when we were growing up, and then now he has it's a ministry, pretty much kind of, same thing that I see with you. What's your opinions on the Kanye West switch in that Kanye West album? You got to hear it?
I heard a little bit. I think it's great because I know a lot of rappers in the gospel community. I guess they were hit with the label of being jealous, or like Kanye jumped in the lane and just start stealing shine or whatever. But I thought it was good. I liked this. From what I heard, I liked it, and I think that no matter how God gets his shine or his praise, I mean, no matter who it come from, because we're not really trying to glorify ourselves. If you're gonna jump in that lane, you're not doing it for yourself. Because if that's the case, you might as well just go ahead back to secular rap.
Right. All right, so Jermaine, let's switch to the second part of my interview. So that was, us going over everything and, talking about you and what you got going on. Let's jump into modern times real quick. What is your take on this whole virus, COVID-19, and the whole situation? What's your take on what's going on? And I know you because you grew up in the Baptist. You're a Baptist, Southern Baptist.
I grew up that way.
Or grew up in the Baptist church. What is your take on what's going on right now? Because a lot of people say that we are kind of living in the book of Revelations with the, now we got killer hornets. And I don't know, who knows what else 2015, 2015, I wish this was 2015.
I wish it
who
was.
knows what, who knows what 2020, what else 2020 got in store for us. What's your take on what's currently going on and what you're seeing? Meat shortages, food shortages, and huge locusts, killer bees or killer hornets or whatever. Talk to me.
Yeah, this is 2020 is making a statement, and I hope people are just taking notice. I want to say that this definitely seems like Revelation, and I know a lot of people say, every generation thought they were living in Revelation, but this is different. Like with the technology and the things that's going on, you can't forget about Australia was on fire at the beginning of the year, the whole Australia.
The whole Australia, I remember that.
Then the COVID-19, and then right after that, large swarms of locusts was sweeping through Africa and
ate up everything.
Everything, and then you're seeing just people just this past weekend, Andre Harrell, Betty Wright, and Little Richard, just big names just dying. And I know that's every year, but it felt weird even when it happened. No, Betty Wright and that felt weird though. And what was weird, they kept saying now. At first, every death has been a COVID-19. What was weird in each one of these, they were saying, we don't want to say what the cause is. Yeah,
that's even scarier,
And what's even worse is that we have never, I know in our lifetime, I don't know about people before us, but sports shut down, travel shut down. The whole country was shut down at one point. I work now at a place, that's a very, very huge giant on the online retail, and we had to have passes just to leave the house. We ever got pulled over, we had a pass because there was
an essential worker or whatever.
Yeah, essential worker. So when I was going to work, it was like a ghost town. We ain't never seen nothing like that.
I've never. So they really did a thing where they gave you a pass at your job, and they where you could. Wow.
I still got the pass in the car. I never got pulled over, but somebody else did that worked with me, and they said the police wouldn't even get out. They were talking to him through the speaker, the loudspeaker, and he had his his pass, and he was like he didn't even want to see it. So this is crazy. And then when you start seeing stuff like the police tweeting that if it's not a real crime, don't call us during that COVID-19 because we'll be slow to respond.
But here's the thing, and here's the catch-22, and they did that, and they want to let criminals out of jail for the COVID, but now they want to beat up and lock up more people for shit like not social distancing and wearing a mask. You know what I mean? So it's like you letting out the real criminals who finna get out here and turn it all the way up to now I'm finna start arresting little Billy who ain't never been to jail before, but he feel a certain way about wearing a mask. Well, if he want to die, let him die. But Billy, now we gotta beat him up, throw him up. You've been seeing they've been beating him. You already know who getting the rut of it.
I'll be honest with you. I think Billy is okay. It's little Tyreek.
It's Tyreek, it's Antonio. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because they're definitely targeting black people, and they got to fill those jails back up with black people.
Right. Now, what is your take on what happened in China? So this virus was supposed to originally come from China. It was supposed to originally come from Wuhan, China, but China has the nerve to turn around in some kind of way. It came out that the coronavirus came from African Americans. So what they did, and if you listen to one of my shows, I got a show called Made in China. And on that show, I play a clip from a lady that she was saying that she was in China when the situation happened. She was from Africa and she was in China. I forgot what the business was, but she was out there. And soon as the thing came on, they started coming to all black people. So they came to her first. Her landlord came to her and told her, hey, you gotta leave. They were telling everybody got to leave. She said, landlord told her she got to leave. She said, well, when I got ready to leave, She said the police came to the house and they told me that I had to be under a 14-day quarantine. So she told the landlord, I got to do quarantine for 14 days. This in China. Black lady. The second day, the landlord came back, said, hey, you got to leave or whatever. And the lady like, well, I'm still on, I'm under quarantine. She said the third day, the people came dressed in hazmat suits and whatever. They turned her hotel. They made her pay for it and made her do a 14-day quarantine. She said by the 5th day of that quarantine, they came and they told her she had to get out of the hotel. No Africans were allowed, period. And so, like, all these Africans are all on the street. I don't know if you've been seeing the clips. I'm sure you have. I know you have. But you see, they've been beating and kicking them. And they're doing it in front of kids and everything. It's one thing to be a bum on the street and something happening and people like, get out, where you go, this and that. It's another thing to where somebody say, excuse me, they saying you got to sell your house. You have to, whatever you have to leave everything if you black, period. African American, any black people, period. Some of the things even say no Negroes allowed or no black people allowed. What? Touch that for me. What you think that, and that's in China, and that's when this virus was on, and they're the ones who, I guess, started this whole virus, whatever the thing is, and they have flipped it somehow else. The black people got nowhere else to go. Talk to me.
Well, that's coming from a country that limits how many children you can have, and so if they're that gun ho on stopping their population getting out of control, I do not put it past them or any other government with dropping some kind of bio attack to control the population. And then, if you have a country that's that buys into propaganda, I'm sure if you want to blame it on anybody to cover your tracks, blame it on black people. And that's what I think happened. But I'm not mad at China more than what I'm mad at black people for running in America, running to the Chinese people to run and give their dollars to, seeing how their black brothers overseas are getting treated. And then they, once it's opened back up, they run and get their toes and stick them in Chinese people's face, and going to the corner store and going and spending money with them in the hair store, and but you see, we're not allowed over there where they originate from, but they can come over in our communities and make millions. And they treat us here and abroad like shit. And I think that is, to me, if a person is gonna let you take advantage of them, then who won't take advantage of them? We gotta stop being mad at the people that's doing it to us, and we have to start being mad at ourselves for sitting down and laying down and taking it. And especially, not only do we give them our dignity, our humanity, we give them our finances too.
Exactly. And they empower their community. We run and go buy all the Chinese food. We go to, all of that, everything. Like you said, we run straight to them. That's where I've been seeing all online. Nothing but everybody happy to be back in the beauty shops. And even in Atlanta, now that they opening the beauty shops and where you can get your nails done, and there's so many black beauticians and cosmetologists in the Atlanta area alone, but everybody still ran to give their money to the same people that are, basically taking the shit on us. You know what I mean? Yeah. We fools, man. And I don't think we'll be ready for nothing like reparations, because if we get money, all we're going to do is run back and get that money back to the people. To them. We won't build nothing of our own. And it's just, it's a sad situation. I sure say this government and this world has sure did a number on us, to where we can't even, consider ourselves, Africans or whatever. We're a color. We're not even a nationality. We're a color. Right. We're black. Let me ask you this. So what is your feelings? I mean, I pretty much know your feelings on Trump, but him being the leader right now in this crisis that's going on, and him, you saw the conference today, right? You know, man, what's your feelings? I mean, like, because, I've always been taught that, in tough times, the tough times always fall on the leader. That's what you look to. You look, to the leader or a person to lead. What are your takes right now? And again, tying in with, from biblical aspect or even just from a street perspective, what's your what are your thoughts on, just him being at the forefront while we, go through this crisis and do something that has never been seen or done before?
I think everybody getting what they deserve. I think white people who Trump supporters who voted for him so naive and dumb, don't even realize how bad of a job he's doing and how much of a hole he's putting us in. They're getting what they deserve. And people like for our people who don't vote, even though Trump did win lost the popular vote, but he won the electoral college. Still, by not voting, we didn't, we could have blocked a lot of stuff by, with the Senate and the House, but, we didn't vote. So, we're getting what we deserve on that aspect. And a lot of people it's so popular to vote. But, your grandmother, my grandmother, and their grandmothers did everything. I mean, when they tried to vote, they'll shove a jar with a whole bunch of marbles in it, and you had to guess how many marbles it was for you to even pass to see if you can vote.
To even see if you can vote. Right.
It's crazy. And so, like you're from Memphis and I'm from Pensacola, and these are huge parts of the country that started the conversation or even the movement to put us in a position where we had to vote. So somebody that's like that's really close to you died. But it's right, and we're not using it. So that we're getting out what we deserve in that aspect. But then at the same time, when you look at what Trump is doing with these laws, they're definitely, I'm not going to say he's the Antichrist because that's crazy in itself, but he's definitely setting the stage and he's a forerunner for that figure, where it be like a person or whether it be like, I've heard that been debated so many times if it's a physical person or if it's
the Antichrist, if it'll be a person, if it be somebody, or if it'll be a thing, or if it be
But whatever it is, Trump is setting the stage.
They did say that it would have a cult-like following. They said when the Antichrist came, he's gonna have a cult-like following. There are certain people that don't like him, but there are so many, and I'm even talking African Americans or black people or whatever they want to call us, even us now. There are so many, as opposed to the beginning when Obama was leaving, there was everybody was just not Trump, this and this and that. But now here we are 3 years later, going almost to 4, to heading into re-election. And that's all I see all over YouTube and this, and I see nothing but black people. Now, Kanye West, that's one thing, but I take that and say, okay, well, he an entertainer. He got to get attention. I don't know if that's what he's doing. So, I kind of say, all right, well, I put that in a box. That's Kanye. But then all I see is nothing but black, and these are like smart, prominent black brothers. These ain't just like the bandwagon riders. Some of these dudes probably don't even listen to Kanye West. These are just, just black dudes. I took my daughters down to Bethune-Cookman. To the Bethune-Cookman or whatever, and met a couple of black guys or whatever for this little thing that they were doing. And even there was a lot of black guys that were speaking to Trump will do this and it's he's opened more doors for black people and he's this and this and that. So like, I don't know what's your take? How did that how did that even happen when at first he was the enemy, everybody's enemy, and it's like now that may even
I don't know, man. That's a head scratcher. I don't know how these Negroes can. Trump made a statement. He said, "I can shoot somebody in the middle of Times Square, whatever." He said, and I won't lose any votes. And they start asking people like, "Nah, I still vote for him." That's the kind of stuff that's scary. When you get black people to vote for an extreme racist. And I do say extreme, and I believe that. And then you got people who will vote for him, even if he shot somebody in front of you and me. Those are the kind of Antichrist spirits that we're talking about, man. And I just don't know, man. This country is we in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, man. Definitely, brother. It's a lot of trouble, man.
I mean, The press conference today was just out of hand. This man.
I've never seen. Yeah, I've never seen nothing like that, man. All right, well, Jermaine, what I'm gonna do is, I think I got pretty much everything that we need here, man. You want to plug any more? You want to tell them again where to go get your music and your movie, about your movie, and just want to tell them how they can get to you, any websites, anywhere you want to plug up your Twitters and Facebook and all that.
Yeah, definitely. At Maine the Baptist, Maine the Baptist, MAINE, Maine the Baptist, and that's and the is TH, it's not DA. That's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I'm on all anywhere where you get music online.
Same thing, Spotify, Apple, all that stuff.
Anywhere.
Gotcha.
And the book, My Brother, the Devil, and Me by Jermaine J. Williams. That's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, that's still available now?
Yeah, it's available now.
Okay.
That's everywhere. And the documentary is coming. You know what? I'm gonna come back on when the documentary drop.
Then we do something big, and then we'll
and we could just talk about that. So that way we can have a more in depth. So that way you can ask me about it, and I make sure once I get it done, I share it with you, and I give you an advanced screening, and I definitely come back.
Man, that's what's up. That's what's up, brother. Well, I enjoyed it, man. And you got any other words that you want to give to any of the, any, like I said, like we were talking at the beginning about, the addiction of people, because right now is a time that, you know how those addictions go. Or drugs or so forth. The time that they come is when you're idle or when you're worried, when you're stressed. Right now, a lot of people don't have jobs. A lot of people don't have money. If they in Florida, they're fighting for unemployment. Like, they literally fighting for unemployment while the governor comes on TV and talks about he needs more tests or something or whatever. Like, he ain't saying nothing about unemployment, even in all them comments. When he go live, I just, sit in the comments and just see. And that's all people are saying, like, hey, dude, we need our unemployment. We don't care about this and this and that. Unemployment. So with all of that going on, so people are stressed. People are dead to the max. People have become teachers now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now they understanding why they kids was getting wrote up all the damn time. Like, I'm just saying, like, it's a whole nother ball game. So that stuff can bring on stress. And when stress is the whole reason for drug usage is to, you usually stress or you're worried, and it's basically your spaceship to get out of here. What can you give these people that can encourage them to use a different spaceship instead of the drugs and the so forth? What you think you can leave them with?
Well, yeah, definitely. That drugs is just a mask. It's temporary, and then you're digging yourself in a bigger hole, man. Find a way, get you a therapist. There's people who's actually just, there's so many programs, especially if you're in the state of Florida, there's so many programs in each county where you can get a therapist at little to nothing. Sometimes you can get it for nothing, and that not only would they help you with therapy, that will help you get into school or whatever the case. I tell you, there's been plenty of times where drugs I should have been dead at my own hands, alone, suicide, and that's not where you want to be at. It's temporary where you at, and but drugs is a long-term problem, and that's something that you do not want to dabble in. And you got to keep the faith. You got to stay praying. You got to keep God first, because I'm telling you, when you make it out of this, nothing else will stop you. Nothing else will stop you.
Let me ask you this too. Now, go back one more time for me with the voting. So we know that. Dealing with, the being, black and having to vote, and, us always trying to find choices and so forth. And like you said, voter turnout was real low. Of course, after Obama left, the turnout was a done deal almost. With that, how important do you think it is to vote? Because if you talk to people in the hood now, nobody's really even interested. The only thing that you hear, like I said, we'll hear the few black folks that's going to say, or the intelligent ones that'll try to say, go Trump now. But the rest of the hood, not even talking about it. They just like, man, them folks going to do what they do anyway. And that's what you get now. And, you got Joe Biden, I guess, is the Democratic candidate that's going to go against Trump. What's your advice, or since you're in the political business and so forth, what's your advice on on which way or what we should look for in the candidate, or how should we go with it? Because I mean, we know we don't want to keep Trump in there. You think Joe Biden is would be bringing us to better?
Yeah, I think so. And I'd tell the people in the hood this. I bet they asking, wish they could rewind time, and they probably be getting, if they went out to vote, they'd probably be getting unemployment right now.
right, yeah.
Like we got Trump Jr. down here in Florida, so we catching it twice as bad, and Trump is telling him what to do. And he
Mar-a-Lago here, so he gonna make sure he.
Yeah, because now this ain't a black problem no more with unemployment. White people getting a little like, hold on, wait a minute.
That's who I see in the comments, right? That's who it's more. They're mad and they be ferocious. Like, we be mad, but they be on some like, yeah.
And DeSantis is doing a terrible job right now. And he was running against Andrew Gillum, and you see what happened with Gillum. And,
right.
That was sad. But he would have did a better job though. I mean,
because whatever he went through with whatever, that ain't got nothing to do with the job he would have did though. And that's what I was saying on one of my shows. I was saying like, I don't touch what he did, but at the same time, like, whatever, like I still think he would have handled this. That ain't got nothing to do with how he would have handled a crisis.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I think
he wouldn't have all that free time on his hands to go out and get male escorts.
Right.
And like to me, I don't care what my politicians do at night, who they sleep with. I don't care as long as the laws are just. Right. Everyone is treated fairly. Things are going. I mean, that moral stuff. That's just for that's a distraction, man. Show me your record of how you voted. Show me that you got corruption and all that stuff. Like all that other stuff. Like John F. Kennedy is depending on who you're asking, one of the best presidents this country ever had. But he turned the White House into the Playboy Mansion. Like, he had so many girls up in there, man. It was crazy, man. I don't care. He deserved it. He was doing a good job. Let him do what he do. Voting is really important, man. Niggas in the hood need to get that, man.
And we got a big one coming up in 2020. This is a big one, which, I mean, all of them are big, even the governor races and so forth. I mean, I know they all are important as well. But for now, for what we going through and what we facing, and now I think more people eyes are wide open because it ain't had nothing to do but watch TV and see politicians on TV that they're like, oh, who are all these people that make laws outside of the president? Oh, that's my governor. Oh, what does he do? It's now people are like, oh, that's why he on TV every day telling me what to do for the state.
Well, I tell you this, your homeboy, not your homeboy, but just hypothetically speaking, your homeboy, whoever listening to this, get arrested on some trumped up charges that everybody know is wrong, and they get a jury of his peers. They get a jury from jury duty. But they pull that jury duty pool from registered voters. You're not registered to vote, then you're not going to be able to get no jury boxes that help equal out a jury of peers. You know what I'm saying? Voting is so important all the way around. It's not just inside the ballot box or inside the voting poll. It's not just the national election. I mean, the local election would affect you way more or way before the national do. But I mean, all the way down to the smallest thing of having a fair jury.
And I don't think a lot of people didn't know that, Doc. I didn't even know that.
So it's crazy.
Gotcha, man. All right.
Gotta get it. And to sum it all up, it wasn't free. It was, everybody, it's so popular now for people not to believe in Jesus and ICE or ACE or whatever.
Ancestors and all of that.
Yeah, all that. Well, listen, man, we'll pay respect to your ancestors because the price of voting came in blood, and it was their blood and their life. So ancestor that shit. And get your ass.
Yes, sir, man. All right, well, man, look like we got you set, brother. I appreciate you so much, man, for coming through, dropping these jewels on us. And
man, I'll tell you, man, when I get this documentary together, I'm gonna give you a fast screen and you let me know. Come back.
Oh man, when I get it, we coming on. We gonna talk about it and we gonna play clips from it and everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, off top. Yes, sir. All right. Well,
man, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate this. Was a good time for me, man. I had a good time.
Yes, sir. No problem, Jermaine, man. That's your boy. This your boy, Johnny Mac, and that's my guy, Jermaine Williams. Yeah. So, that was pretty cool, man. Pretty good show, man. You know, again, shouts out to Jermaine Williams, man. Everybody, make sure that y'all take a look out for that. Had to change. I had to change, man. He said that's they working that out right now. That'll be coming to us pretty soon, and you know, I definitely be tuned in for that one. Also, I want to you know, take a time, and I'm gonna give myself a little promo time real quick. Teespring. If you want to support the Johnny Mac Show in any kind of shape, form, or fashion, the first way to do that would be to go over to teespring.com. That's teespring.com/stores/Johnny Mac's shop. I got shop 1, shop 2, shop 3. Either one of those shops. You could go check me out there. And I got gear from most of my shows, most of the covers that you see from them, just some different sayings that I have and different things. You know, a lot of people say they wanted to support the show and so forth. So that's the best way, I would say. Go over to teesprings.com/stores/Johnny Mac's shop and just take a look. Look at some gear. I got stuff for babies, stuff for kids, stuff for adults, winter, summer, some of everything. Also, you know, you can catch this show somewhere everywhere. You know, it's at Spotify, Apple Podcast, on Anchor FM, and of course my favorite, Spreaker.com. You know, Spreaker is what mostly be hosting most of my shows. iHeartRadio. I mean, you name it, is there. Google Podcast, man. I'm all over the place. So, we got that. And with that, we're going to pretty much get ready to close this whole thing on out, man. I want to close it on out with one more song. And this one again, and I know I've been hitting it in the head, and I'm going to keep playing it. It's... You know, it just fits the situation right now. I'm going to play the Trackman featuring Murphy Lee and Yoski AP. And this has been here before. And I want to send this song out to Ahmaud Arbery. Ahmaud Arbery is the young man that was jogging, that was attacked by the black guy that was attacked by the, you know, the two white, I don't know, former policemen or whatever they were, and killed and murdered. And some kind of way the media has found a way, and people have found a way to turn this all over and turn this on us. Same thing that we've seen. This is Trayvon Martin pretty much all over again. This is a lot of situations that haven't even been ever brought out before, that we don't know about or get covered up, but definitely this is definitely at least Trayvon Martin, you know, somebody trying to play police. It was a retired police officer, but you're not even a police officer, and suspecting something that you have no business. It's just a lot going on. So I want to close the show out, and I'm gonna play that this Trackman featuring Murphy Lee. And again, shouts out to the homie Jermaine Williams, and thank everybody for rocking with your boy Johnny Mac and the Johnny Mac Show. And again, if you can't hit the store or the Teespring app or any of that stuff, and you just still want to support the show, you can definitely hit the Cash App. The Cash App is JMcDonald38. Peace, love, and hair grease. This has been there before, and we out of here. Johnny Mac, let's do it.
This is the most asinine act I've ever seen a police officer make. Totally unwarranted. It's incredible. Yeah. And so senseless. And again, I feel so sorry for his family. And I feel sorry for the community. This should not happen.
Look, it was a clear black night. I saw the blue lights, heart beating through my chest. Niggas scared for my life. Just cruising through the haven, trying to get some smoke. Then my text ringing off, and it's my nigga. Yo.
Rolling through the east side, double checking my phone, watching for MP got no time to flex. I think I'm getting pulled over. Let me send this text.
I straighten up my Mitchell and Ness, then check the seat belt. Approaches on my side, hope God is on my side. He give me the side eye, now I'm on the sidewalk. So many in my position, they died on the sidewalk. He running my ID, they ripping at my seats. Canines in my face, they say I smell like weed. Damn, I'm in handcuffs 2 weeks before I see a judge. Car and apartment gone, this shit here is too much.
You keep forgetting that we've been here before. You keep forgetting things will never be the same. You keep forgetting that you started this war.
You're listening to my dad's podcast, Johnny Mac.
Everything is so
clear to me.
We begin this week with so much emotion and unrest all across the country after those devastating shootings. You see, some rallies, like this one in Minnesota, did turn violent over the weekend. Dozens of officers injured. This healing is going to be hard.
Well, it's talk of Trayvon Martin talking about using drugs and fighting and things like that, and it may play into...
Hey, yo, that same damn star on that police badge is the same damn star that the slave catcher had. How the fuck we supposed to trust these POLs? 4 deep, one driver, one of CIDs. How about you CDs? I only push CDs. Know it's strong, I just smoke a little weed, don't mind me. Rules and regulations of being black is whack. Do I scare you that bad? You had to pull out a strap. Speed ticket, my nigga. I ain't murdered nobody. Why approach a dirty car like I just caught a body? Too grown to be sitting on the curb so you can earn that $14.95 that the government burns. You
keep forgetting that we've been here before. You keep forgetting things will never be the same. You keep forgetting that you started this war. You keep forgetting everything is so clear to me.
As this city still in mourning and on edge after that deadly shooting Thursday night, with calls for peace and justice growing louder in protests and vigils across the country. Overnight, hundreds of protesters shut down LA's massive 405 freeway in both directions. As night fell on Memphis, more than 1,000 demonstrators took to this bridge, bringing Interstate 40 to a standstill for almost 4 hours. In Baton Rouge, where Alton Sterling was killed by police last week, 48 arrests overnight, following more than 100 arrests Saturday. Rocks and Molotov cocktails, 102 people arrested.
As far as stereotyping, this is information as to who Trayvon Martin was by his own words, by his own pictures, and his own deeds.
Every one of those men and women, they are fathers, they are mothers, they are husbands, they are grandpas. You know, we're the same. We're not different.
This morning, a nation praying for peace.
I don't care what color they are, it's hard to reject love. I have never seen love lose a fight. You can wrestle it down to the mat and try to hold it down, but before you count to 10, love will leap back up again.
All lives matter when Black Lives Matter. All lives matter when Black Lives Matter. All lives matter.
I'm here to use my voice so we can make change, stick together, and unite in this country. The time is now. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down.